All right, good to see you all here on the Gabster channel. We have here the Eversolo T8.
Take me back to the party where I kissed you. Lay me down and love me like you want to.
So let's dive in quickly and see first what makes it so great. Let's first start with the power supply. The power supply is a beautiful and great quiet linear power supply. And this is crucial whenever you're working with digital signal, with the especially when you're doing a streamer. This is all power supply, goes from here all the way here. The other thing is the clocks, and the clocks are some really nice silicon clocks, and you can see them here, and these are great clocks, and they definitely will make a difference as well. Coupled with good power supply, it's a great combination. The Eversolo has other great features such as isolated USB, isolated I2S. The USB, one of the best USB outputs I've heard. The I2S is also a great isolated signal as well, and it's also have an isolated RCA and also balanced as well. So these are great isolations for these outputs to keep all the noise as low as possible. And other things that we will see is this thing can, you can put in 2 SSD drives, M.2 style, up to 16 terabytes. So this is like music, you're going to be listening forever in there. So it's got great storage and it's really easy to install those drives. Another great feature is it has an SFP network. Basically, you can plug in a fiber optic SFP device. For those of you who don't know what SFP is, it's basically instead of plugging in physical cable, you're running a fiber optic signal into the Eversolo T8, and this way you're completely isolating noise because noise does not travel in the optical signal. On the front of the unit is just glass. There is no buttons or knobs or anything, and it's all touch screen. Even the power button, basically, if I turn it off, you will see that you can shut down, for example. And it's just black, and just a little bit the power button that shows basically as a light, but it's just a touch screen. There's nothing there. On the back, you'll see all the connections. The most important one is the SFP fiber optical network. There is a label here, and also on their website tells you which SFP it actually works with. If you have one, I suggest try it first. Don't go running buying one till you try the one you have. Mine worked fine right from the start. Other features here, what I like, and one of the most one is we have trigger in and trigger out, and this way we can control the unit, let's say from your preamp or amplifier, and we don't have to keep pushing that button on and off, and that's really good. Or you can control the other units from this unit from the trigger out. So that's a really great feature. Another really great one, the USB that is isolated. Actually, they're all isolated. All their connections are isolated. But that USB sounded really good. Actually, I'm very surprised. Changed my view a little bit about USB connections. The other really good one is the I2S, and that's probably my preferred and favorite, as long as your DAC handles it well, and that's kind of critical actually to get that sound. We also have a beautiful coaxial connection with a great connector here, and optical and AES. You can change inputs by pressing on the bottom here, and we have it here set to USB. So for example, I can change it to I2S, and here where you'll see the little setting button, so you can click on it under settings, and under 2S mode, you're going to see 8 different modes where you can set the I2S signal to. Because I2S is not a standard connection, different manufacturers have different implementations of it. So this is a way where you can pick the one that works best with your system. Before we dive into all these features, let's talk about the sound and also the price. The price of this unit is about 1380 US dollars, under 2,000 Canadian. And this is the price as of now. It could fluctuate a little bit here and there with time. But it's basically not an astronomically priced thing. We're all tired of seeing those products, $50,000, $30,000. Yes, it's great for the people that can afford all that stuff, but the majority of us don't have that kind of cash to spend on a streamer. So, and even then, those units may not sound that great, and most of the time it's a lot of fluff without much actually content. Sometimes they do have good sound, and sometimes it's not the case. And we've seen a lot of products come and go that way. So what makes, let's talk about the sound of the Eversolo T8 streamer. The sound is going to be very dependent on your DAC. So let's put that straight from the beginning. In this case, I'm actually trying it with the Denafrips Terminator, which is a very respectable DAC. I'm also trying it with my own DAC, the Gabster TD1. And let's talk about the sound of the combination with the Denafrips Terminator here. It sounded really, really good. And the surprising part was that the USB output on the T8 with the Terminator Plus or whatever, if you're using a Denafrips product, the USB sounded a tiny bit better than the I2S. But that could be possibly because of the Denafrips itself, that the USB input on it is tiny bit better than the I2S input, or depends on the synergy between the two units. Because when I did try it on my Gabster TD1 DAC, I did try it with USB and with the I2S, and I did use a DDC board for that. I found that the I2S signal was a tiny bit better, if not the same. So just to give you a little bit of an idea, so if you are using an Eversolo T8, try both combinations in your unit, listen to them, and see what works best for you. Because that could be, there's quite a difference between the two, and you might hear it on your system. I do hear it on mine. Now, this is probably going to be the most important part of this video for most of you. Often you'll see someone say, I got a great streamer, spent X amount of dollars on it, I hooked it up to my DAC, it made a huge difference. You see another person talk the same, did not do any difference whatsoever. So why is it? So you need to understand the way things work. If you are sending a signal from your streamer, it's going to go, let's say the Eversolo T8s have some beautiful clocks, the AccuSilicon clocks, and then you put it into your DAC. If your DAC is, usually most DACs will reclock the I2S signal or any signal you send it to it. So the DAC is going to reclock your signal. Now, if the DAC is reclocking the signal in an inferior way of what it already received, the sound is going to degrade. If it's reclocking it in a better way, the sound is going to improve. So you can see here that the sound is purely now dependent on the DAC itself. Now, some DACs, you can actually disable the way it reclocks the signal, but not too many can do that. Very few do, and they'll have a feature where you can actually basically disable any reclocking. And if you can do that, and if you could see that the Eversolo has a better signal than what your DAC is trying to reproduce, then you might want to disable your basically your DAC. But like I said, not too many. Most, I would say 95% of DACs will reclock your signal. So as you can see now, we are very dependent. So when you have a DAC that's reclocking your signal, now the streamer is not creating a huge difference in sound quality. There'll be some, because better power supply, isolation, all these kind of things are gonna not inject some noise and garbage into your DAC, and that's gonna make a big difference. But you're not gonna see as huge of a difference compared to other systems. On my Gabster TD1 DAC, for example, I can see a good difference, because whenever you have a high-end DAC, the less noise you send to your DAC, you're gonna see that difference. And yes, on my Gabster TD1 DAC, we're actually reclocking the signal. We're actually using some of Ian Canada's reclocking 5OQ7 with some of the best clocks out there. And so that sometimes with a great power supply, like we're using ultra capacitors and like very ultra like high-end power supplies. So when you start doing that with a great output stage, also fed by by really good power supplies, and that can make a difference. So when you have this high-end DAC and you send it a high-end streaming signal, you do hear a decent difference. So overall, I would say, if compared to, for example, the Eversolo T8, or let's say if you're streaming from other products, I'm not going to name names here, there's quite a few. I've tried a few in there. Some are great, some are so. There is a small difference. But again, I just want you to understand that don't think that if you're going to get a streamer that necessarily you're going to have a huge difference in your sound, because most likely you may not hear a huge difference. But if your DAC is really good, you will hear the difference. And that's what makes it or not. Also understanding how the clocks work, that you are getting a signal and your DAC is reclocking it. Also, your DAC has also power supplies. If your DAC is using a crappy power supply, you're not gonna really have a great sound. So don't buy an Eversolo T8 if you have a really like entry-level DAC. It's just gonna be a waste of time. It will be great for the future. Yes, it might be a good idea because you could buy it today, use your own DAC for a while, maybe later you can upgrade, and that's not bad. But don't expect to see like a huge difference, because it's not about the Eversolo or anything, or any streamer for that matter. It's about your DAC and what's on your DAC. In the digital domain and sound, there are a few things that are important that makes a streamer and DAC really good. Number one is power supply. We listen to the power supply, especially on the output stage. When you see that sine wave go up and down, these are two power supplies. One is plus, one is minus, and we're using the power supplies to actually modulate them to create that sound. You're actually listening to the power supply, especially on the output stage. Also on the digital side, if you have a good power supply, it's going to reduce all the noise, and the signal, the digital signal, will be better, less jitter. Clocks are extremely sensitive to power. So if you have the best power to your clocks, it's going to give you the best sound. So basically you need a good source of I2S signal, you need good clocks, you need a good DAC chip, and you need a good output stage. And if all these are individually fed by really good power supplies, you are gonna then get that best sound. So it's not about this is an ESS chip, this is a AKM chip. You gotta look at that whole basket together, and if you combine it all in a really good way, you will get a good sound. So this is just one part of the chain to get you that sound. As long as you understand that, then you're gonna really understand what digital audio is and what DACs and streamers do. If we dive inside the Eversolo T8, you can see here that the power supply takes a good chunk of the unit, and this is very good to see, and not just any power supply. This looks like a really nice power supply that I see here. You can see here that there's a nice small little computer. It's a quad core basically computer on the Eversolo T8. It's a system that they use on most of their lineup, and it's got 4 gigabytes of memory. It's very well constructed, and you could see that this is, you know, everything is very well laid out. There's nice space between components. You can actually disable like Wi-Fi on it, so basically you can reduce the noise. And I think the SFP network system is really great. I was able to plug in mine and it worked great. There is on their website, you could see what type of basically SFP module you should use. It's not really very finicky. It's not like you pretty much, there's a wide end of units that will work. As long as you use those, you should be okay. It doesn't have to be exact same brands they are talking about. And so that seems to work pretty nice. And that's this is a great thing because isolating your, basically your internet, that's really good. For those who don't want to use Wi-Fi, this is probably the best of both worlds. You're not getting any physical connection, but you have a more robust connection than Wi-Fi. And so yeah, so on the back here you could see that the unit can accommodate 2 M.2 drives, and this is really good, so you can actually have your own music also stored on the device. And especially what makes the Eversolo system, and not just the T8, the whole lineup, is they all share this great app and software, and they've spent a huge amount of work fine-tuning and perfecting that network. It just flows, click, click, click. It's just so easy, whether it's on the website, whether it's on the screen. Also, I don't want to go through the screen, and yes, it does all these great, you know, view meters and stuff like that, but I think you've seen too much of that. But it does all of that, and you all know about the connectivity, you know, Roon, Cobas, Tidal Direct, but I think the direct connections are really great. I found the best sound is in those direct connections, but you can definitely do a Roon, and you can listen to Radio Paradise, different things. There's quite a few things you can do. The Eversolo packaging is always great. They come in a double card box. This is the inner box actually, and then the inside there's a lot of foam. This is your starting guide, and you can see here the unit. Got a protective covering on the front. And then you have another accessory box. And this is where you will find the power cable. This is for the trigger in. It's a really good feature. And this is the remote control. It's a beautiful remote. It feels really firm in your hand. It actually has some weight to it. There's a nice protective layer at the front that you can remove, and it's going to reveal this beautiful shiny surface. Now I'm using some Alva isolators. These are the SA series. They're used basically for components, and I would say the DACs benefit the most out of vibration isolations because they have the clocks inside, and those are very finicky, especially about vibrations. And they're also finicky for high frequency vibrations, not just like the bass and the low frequencies. So you can see here there basically is a bit of a play here, and same, and the Denafrips terminator here is also on its own isolation as well. They're kept close together reasonably, there's a bit of space, and this way to keep the I2S cable as short as possible, or whatever cable you're using, keep it as short as possible. If you join my Patreon, and it's probably going to be the best thing you will do if you're interested in all these I2S and connecting different things and DIY. We talk about a lot of things that we don't talk about here on the regular YouTube channel, so it might be the best few dollars you'll spend. It's pretty inexpensive, and you could try it for a couple of months and see if you like it. And because there's some really good information that might change the way you're doing things. In the corner here, I'm going to put a video about the Eversolo Play, which is the opposite of the T8. It's got pretty much everything. In this corner, I'm going to put a video about my Gabster TD1 DAC, if anyone is interested in that. So there'll be a speaker in the middle if you'd like to subscribe.